The sky doesn't explode.
It darkens. At noon, it looks like midnight. Ash begins to fall across the Midwest. Airports shut down. Highways empty. The power grid strains. And hundreds of miles away, Yellowstone has just erupted. No asteroid, no warning sirens, just pressure. Rising, breaking, releasing. If the Yellowstone supervolcano erupted tomorrow, what would actually happen? Not in movies, not in headlines, but in the real world. This is a scientific simulation of the most powerful volcanic system in North America.
Yellowstone is not a mountain.
It is not a single volcano. It is a wound in the Earth's crust, 70 kilometers wide, still alive. Beneath the forests and geysers, beneath the wildlife and the tourists, there is a reservoir of molten rock, and it has erupted before. The question is not whether Yellowstone exists. The question is, what would actually happen if it erupted again? To understand that, we need to understand what Yellowstone really is. Yellowstone is a supervolcano, but that word is often misunderstood. It does not mean bigger explosion. It means a volcanic system capable of erupting more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of material in a single event. That is enough ash and rock to bury entire states. The Yellowstone caldera was formed by massive eruptions in the past. The largest occurred about 2.1 million years ago. Another followed 1.3 million years later, and the most recent major eruption happened approximately 640,000 years ago. Each one reshaped the region. But Yellowstone today is not a ticking bomb. It is a complex geological system. Beneath it lies a magma chamber extending several kilometers below the surface. But here is what most people don't realize. That magma chamber is not a giant ocean of liquid rock. Most of it is solid. Only a fraction is molten at any given time. For an eruption to occur, pressure must build. Magma must accumulate. Gases must become trapped. The crust must weaken. And before any major eruption, there would be warning signs. Earthquakes would increase. The ground would begin to rise. Gas emissions would shift. Yellowstone already experiences thousands of small earthquakes each year. That alone is not unusual. It is how the system releases pressure. But imagine the pattern changing. Imagine sustained seismic swarms. Ground uplift measured not in centimeters, but in meters. That would be different. If a large eruption began, it would not look like a Hollywood explosion. There would not be a single instant detonation. Instead, a fracture would open in the crust. Pressure would release violently. Superheated gas and magma would blast upward at hundreds of meters per second. A volcanic column would rise into the atmosphere, not 1 kilometer high, not 5, but possibly 20 or even 30 kilometers high. That is high enough to enter the stratosphere. Ash would spread rapidly. Within hours, it would begin falling across Wyoming. Within days, much of the central United States could be covered in volcanic ash. This ash is not soft powder. It is microscopic glass shards. It damages lungs. It clogs engines. It collapses roofs when wet. Air travel across North America would likely shut down. Power infrastructure could fail as ash coats transformers and cooling systems. Agriculture would suffer. Crops would be buried or contaminated. But the most dramatic danger would be closer to the eruption site. Pyroclastic flows. These are not rivers of lava. They are avalanches of superheated gas and rock moving at highway speeds, temperatures exceeding 500 degrees Celsius. Anything in their path would not survive. Yet even this would not be the global catastrophe many imagine. A Yellowstone eruption would be devastating regionally, but humanity would not go extinct. The real question is climate. If enough ash and sulfur dioxide reached the stratosphere, sunlight could be partially blocked. Global temperatures might drop for several years. Not an ice age, but a volcanic winter. We have seen smaller versions of this before. In 1815, the eruption of Mount Tambora caused the year without a summer. Crop failures followed. Famines spread. Yellowstone could produce a stronger version of that effect. But here is what matters most. There is currently no evidence that such an eruption is imminent. Yellowstone is constantly monitored. Seismometers track earthquakes. Satellites measure ground deformation. Gas emissions are analyzed daily. The system breathes. It rises and falls. It releases pressure gradually. That is normal. Super eruptions are extremely rare on geological timescales. They occur over hundreds of thousands or millions of years. Human timescales are different. From our perspective, the idea feels immediate. But geology does not operate on human urgency. If Yellowstone were to erupt tomorrow, the United States would face serious disruption. Economic shock, infrastructure strain, agricultural losses. But civilization would adapt. We are not dinosaurs dependent on a fragile ecosystem with no warning. We have technology, forecasting, global supply chains. The Earth has experienced far worse eruptions, and life endured. Yellowstone is not a monster waiting to awaken. It is a reminder of the scale of planetary forces. The crust shifts, magma moves, pressure builds and releases. Gravity does not panic, energy does not rush. The system follows physics, and physics is patient. If Yellowstone erupts again, it will not be because it chose to. It will be because pressure exceeded resistance, because rock fractured, because energy found a path upward. And when that moment comes, it will not be the end of the world. It will be the continuation of Earth's long geological story. Yellowstone is powerful, but it is not inevitable. And for now, it sleeps.